Selling your Cardano, or rather your ADA. Most people that hear this kind of hold a weird cringe, especially if they hold ADA against this idea and think it's preposterous, I'd never do that, and there's no way that you could even convince me to sell any of my Cardano. However, with any diamond hander's core principles lies some things or exceptions that may come about to tank their conviction in the asset, whatever it may be, Cardano or else. And in today's video, I want to cover some of those end-all be-all, more or less black swan events for me and my conviction in Cardano, and reasons that I might go under to sell everything. Now, Cardano is built upon a lot of different fundamental things. One of those being a lot of scientific peer-reviewed papers, now over 150 of them on Cardano, and a very high level of decentralization across the network, especially for block production. Basically, how much entities can produce blocks, and that number does go up quite frequently. And recently, the main thing that I would be looking for in this category is the minimal attack vector. Basically a way of measuring decentralization, meaning how many entities do you have to control in order to get 51% of block production. And if that is to happen, if someone is to gain 51%, they could perform some disastrous malicious activities that would take down Cardano's blockchain and the reputability behind it. At the moment, Cardano has a MAV, or minimal attack vector, of 23. This is pretty good, and by no means is it a cause for concern right now, although it could be better. In comparison, Bitcoin and Ethereum are estimated to be at a MAV around 3 to 4, and this is just how many entities produce 50% of the blocks for both of these blockchains. Depending on where you look though, the MAV for any different blockchain is going to be reported as a different number. It's actually quite hard to figure out the MAV unless you're calculating it yourself based on available data, but the concrete end score is not the easiest thing to find, and at best we have our estimates at the moment. However, the causation for me to sell would be if this number of 23 right now continues to go down and it shows no sign of stopping. A MAV of 4 to 5 to me is pretty not great, and something that I personally wouldn't be comfortable holding all of my Cardano with, especially if there's no signs of it getting any better. Cardano itself has a minimal attack vector of 23, as I mentioned, and there is going to be things that are propelling this upwards, and initiatives, proposals, and tons of things at the moment that are still working on improving this and paying attention to it. So right now, there's not really a cause for concern, but this is one of the things, if it goes down, I would definitely consider selling all of my Cardano. Reason number 2 is essentially if Input Output Global, one of the 3 founding entities of Cardano, continues to hold the keys of the kingdom past their due date. Right now, hard fork events, changes to the node versions, parameter changes, and a lot more have to pass through the good to go check from IOG before ever being applied. Decentralization and Cardano do go hand in hand, and to me they are a major fulcrum in any blockchain success. Decentralization of block production for Cardano is going really good right now, but if we are to keep the hands or the keys of the kingdom in IOG's hands this whole time, that attack vector of basically being able to make changes to the network may be taken, and someone may make some malicious intent here. Ultimately, we want to have a system that development and block production are both done in a decentralized way, and Cardano is working at that through the scaling and specifically the governance era on Cardano. But if this is to fail, if we are to go sideways and we're to go away from our fundamental plan here, that would be a major concern for me and definitely a reason for me to sell my Cardano. Likely this is not going to happen, and likely a lot of the reasons I'm stating here are not going to happen, but the purpose is just to state things that could happen and you should be paying attention to within Cardano's protocol itself, and just in general to educate you on reasons why Cardano is doing so good in these metrics right now and reasons why they're important for the health of any blockchain or network. My third reason that I might sell all of my Cardano, or someone might want to, is because of something basically not coming to fruition. Big ideas that gained you your conviction around Cardano and innovation in any kind of area that don't get fulfilled or never get really worked on. In any part of cryptocurrency or just innovation in general, there are always a lot of big ideas floating around, and oftentimes a lot of them never get executed. Big ideas to change the world or do all sorts of crazy things with new innovative technology. However, for me, things that I would be, willing to possibly even sell on if they don't happen or never get worked on or never talked about are the initial things that brought me here for my main convictions, which would be, to me, things like banking the unbanked, giving identities to those without identity, providing governance-based and trustless self-custody financial systems, all the while being a platform built for a sustainable future. That proof of stake, sustainable node model that Cardano's running right now, and all the other things that are being worked on, I want to then keep going on these big ideas and keep going for the moon, trying to make a better world in general and using the Cardano blockchain to do so. If that isn't happening, or if one of these main things that gains you my conviction in Cardano and the reason I'm investing into it for the future in the long term falls down or crumbles, or just in general stops getting worked on or paid any attention to, then that definitely would be a major red flag for my investment point of view. I'm not suggesting that all of these big ideas that Cardano has have to be met. Not every single one of them, and certainly not in a super fast, timely manner. After all, these are big ideas and these are going to take a long time to come to fruition. But in general, progress on these ideas is being made would be my recommendation for what I want to see happen, and having it done in some way of formal communication where I can actually gauge and see progress. I also want to mention that a lot of these ideas are here for you and me, the people holding Cardano, or people around, making things on Cardano to implement. It's not just on the founding partners' shoulders, although they did set up the foundation for this. Basically, it's the whole point of Cardano and decentralization is for people to come in and pitch forth their ideas, their thoughts, and their expertise in these areas to complete these big ideas and connect them all to one another. Reason number 4 is pretty much recapping the first 3 reasons and adding a bit of a clause. Pretty much, if anything, strongly that is a fundamental of Cardano, and my conviction is based upon that to turn sideways, I would be out of Cardano as an investment. Price changing doesn't induce how I feel about my long term of my investment on Cardano, but fundamentals being altered or broken certainly do. To me, the fundamentals of Cardano are the following things: a high level of decentralization, governance-based systems, sustainable technology, and constantly building and working to improve the existing systems and systems made to include everybody, including the unbanked. Although it is certainly not easy to keep a close eye on all these fundamentals and being able to measure them in a way that is actually feasible for me to grasp, but in most cases, the feeling you can get around a community and the opinions that you have about the fundamentals do really show when you're going back and forth with people who are interested in Cardano. And if for any reason I find myself out of sorts with other people's opinions and where Cardano is headed, then that definitely might change my feelings and conviction about Cardano in general. Now, the 5th reason is a lot less black swan-y and a lot less, everything's going down, everything's burning reason. It's more or less just saying, hey, there's a long list of personal things that could happen in your life that may make you want to sell your Cardano. Maybe you clicked on this video thinking that something bad is happening, terrible is happening right now. Sadly, it's not, if that's what you're hoping for. Luckily for us, it's not. But in general, things like health bills or outstanding bills or big house, big life purchases that keep you alive and well, these things may always be a reason to sell some of your cryptocurrencies, including all of your Cardano, if it just falls that way. I'll let you use your imagination for things that may suit this reason, but in general, this is more of a catch-all kind of reason, and I am going to do a separate video on more in-depth reasons or places where people take cryptocurrency profits and good points to do so. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I don't really think I would ever sell any of my Cardano, and I didn't think so, but things do come up, life comes up. I've had to sell a large portion for taxes. I do plan on buying back in after I've claimed my losses, but things come up, things happen. Honestly, never say never, as Justin Bieber once said. And in general, I am going to be holding a large bag of Cardano so long as my conviction remains and I feel like things are going well on a fundamental level. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. It's been your friend Jack. Peace out.